The old house sat quietly on the edge of a fading town, where the wind carried stories from long ago and the trees whispered secrets no one remembered. Inside, Natasha stood by the window, her hands resting gently on the sill, her eyes lost in the grey morning. She was in her late 50s now, though her heart still remembered the feeling of youth. Her hair, once like nightfall, was streaked with silver. Wrinkles lined her face, not deep, but tender, like pages in a book often read. In her hand, she held a letter. Its paper had yellowed, the edges worn. She read it every year on this day, July 13th, the day her world had changed forever. Her husband, Harrison, had written it just before he left. She had met Harrison when she was only 23. It was spring, the cherry blossoms bloomed early that year, and life felt like it was just beginning. He was tall, gentle, with soft eyes and a crooked smile that made her feel seen. They met at a bookstore. Natasha dropped a poetry book, and he picked it up before she could. Their fingers brushed. That's how it started. No grand moment, no music in the background, just two people, reaching for the same words. They fell in love slowly, like rain filling a lake. It was a love that didn't rush. It listened. It stayed. They talked for hours, about childhood, fears, dreams, the meaning of small silences. He would make tea. She would hum old songs from her grandmother's radio. He wrote letters even though they lived 10 minutes apart. I want our words to live on, he said, in case time forgets our voices. When Natasha's mother fell ill, she left her teaching job in the city to care for her. Harrison followed. He worked long hours at a small mechanic shop, grease on his fingers and pain in his back. She wanted to tell him to stop, to rest, but he would only smile and say, "You love your mother. I love you, that's all that matters." Love, she thought, was not only kisses and poems. It was laundry at midnight. It was walking 4 miles because the car broke down. It was holding someone's hand when they had nothing left to give. Harrison gave everything. They got married in a church that smelled of old wood and candles. There were no grand flowers or expensive suits, just simple vows, a few family members, and the sound of rain tapping gently on the roof. "I will love you," he said, "even when your hair turns grey, even when we forget why we fight, even when the world feels too heavy. I will still carry you." She wept, not because she was sad, but because she finally understood the weight of love, the kind that didn't ask for much, but gave everything. The years passed like seasons. There were soft winters and heavy summers. Some days they danced in the kitchen. Other days they yelled until their throats ached, until they fell into each other's arms, exhausted, broken, but unwilling to let go. They tried for a child for many years. It never happened. There were doctor visits, prayers, small hopes. Each time, a disappointment. Natasha cried in secret, holding baby clothes that would never be worn. Harrison never blamed her, not once. "Maybe we were meant to love each other more," he would say, cupping her face. "Maybe that's the child we raise, this love." She didn't respond, but she held him tighter that night, as if to thank him. It started with fatigue. Harrison would come home, pale and quiet. He lost weight. His hands trembled when he tried to hold a fork. He hid it from her for weeks. Then came the hospital visits, the tests, the word no one ever wants to hear, cancer. "I'm sorry," the doctor said. "It's advanced." Natasha's world shattered in that small, sterile room. Everything felt cold, but Harrison only held her hand and said, "Don't cry for me. Not yet. We still have time. Let's live it." And they did. They made a list, not of places to go, but things to feel. A sunset together, one last dance, a letter each day for 30 days, a walk barefoot on wet grass. The power of simple embraces. She cooked his favorite meals. He read her favorite poems. They watched old films and held each other through the nights. Each moment became sacred, each breath, a memory. On July 12th, he asked her to go to the garden and pick the yellow roses she loved. When she returned, he was asleep in his chair, peaceful, still, gone. Next to him, a letter with her name, Natasha. She couldn't breathe. She fell to her knees, screaming without sound. She didn't open the letter that night. When she finally did, 2 days later, the words blurred through tears. "Greater than my dearest Natasha. If you are reading this, it means I have left. I hope I went quietly, with you near. I hope you didn't suffer in those final hours. That's all I ever feared, not death, but leaving you with pain. Loving you was not a task. It was my joy, my reason. I know life without me will feel cold. But remember, our love was real. It doesn't die. It changes form. It will become the wind on your face, the warmth in your chest, the echo of laughter in the hall. Do not wear black for me forever. Wear yellow, like your roses. Smile when you remember me. Cry if you must, but always come back to the light. The price of love, they say, is grief. But I paid it gladly. For every second with you was worth it. Yours, always, Harrison. Years passed. The world changed. Phones got smarter, roads got wider, but Natasha stayed in the same house. Alone, but not lonely. She would speak to Harrison sometimes, sitting by the fire. Do you still remember that bookstore? She'd whisper, I still have that poetry book. She taught music to neighborhood children. She volunteered at the local shelter. She lived, slowly, softly. Love had carved her, made her deeper, more tender. She never remarried, not because she didn't believe in second love, but because some hearts stay full forever. One winter night, as snow fell outside and silence filled the house, Natasha lay in bed, feeling tired in a way she hadn't before. She looked around the room, the books, the letters, the photographs. Then she closed her eyes. She saw him, Harrison, standing beneath the cherry blossoms, young again, his crooked smile waiting. He opened his arms. She ran to him, and the world faded into the warmth of an eternal embrace. Love, they say, is free. But that's not true. It costs time, effort, tears, sacrifice. It asks for patience. It demands vulnerability. It breaks you, mends you, and breaks you again. But for those who've truly loved, for those who have known its depth and its ache, they know the truth. Love is worth every price it asks. And marriage, when rooted in true love, is not a cage, but a sacred vow, a promise to keep choosing someone, even when life becomes unkind. Natasha and Harrison paid that price, but in return, they were given something death could never take. A love that lived on, forever.